What's up, beasts? So today's video we're looking at beginner weight loss. Now, one of the areas I tend to specialize in is beginner weight loss and just beginner athletics in general. One of the more frequent questions I get asked is, what diet should I do? Or what diet's going to suit me when it comes to losing weight? Diets is just a method of weight loss. The idea of a diet is it's supposed to suit a certain group of people with a particular style of either eating or food or timing or whatever is going to work for you. So here's some examples. Intermittent fasting. If you're someone who doesn't like to eat breakfast, intermittent fasting is going to be a great diet for you, because the main point of the diet is to stop eating for a certain amount of time, which most of the period of intermittent fasting is throughout the morning. So at about 12 to 2 o'clock, that's when you start eating. So for someone who doesn't eat breakfast already, it's going to be very easy for you to adapt to this style of diet. However, if you do eat breakfast, intermittent fasting is probably not for you. The next big question that I tend to get all the time is, what type of supplements should I take? Supplements are there to supplement the food you're already eating. If you struggle to get enough of a particular vitamin or mineral in, or you just lack protein or some sort of amino acid, it is very easy to get it through a supplement. Supplements are really easy to take. They're usually quite affordable. It just takes off the stress of worrying about eating a particular type of food that you may not like. Now, a great example of a good area to have a supplement in is greens powder. One of the people I was talking to the other day, he said that he struggles to eat a lot of vegetables. He can only eat 2 types of vegetables. He said broccoli and carrot. Everything else he just cannot stomach. So I told him a great idea would be to have some greens powder. Yes, it's not going to replace all of your vegetables for the rest of your life, but it will get him a higher intake of the vegetables in per day without having to worry about going through eating and trying to force himself to eat things he doesn't like. The final topic we're going to go on is, how much weight should I be losing in a week? Now, you'll see all these different types of challenges. Say you lose 5 kilos in 5 weeks, lose 8 kilos in 4 weeks, and all this kind of rubbish. But for a normal average person, you're looking at losing anywhere between 0.5 to 1 kilo of body weight a week. Now, that's not going to be consistent. Of course, water weight will fluctuate up and down, and different factors will play into it. But as long as over a month worth of a period, you're losing at least about a 2 kilo amount, you're on track. Because 2 kilos means 0.5 kilos a week over that course. You might lose a bit more, a bit less one day or a week, whatever it may be. One thing that I like to make sure people keep track of is if they lose too much weight, not to be slamming their hand on the table like, fuck yes, I've lost way more than I should. Not a good thing. No, you shouldn't be losing 4 kilos a week. It's probably not fat you're losing either. So we want to make sure that we're really focused on just between 0.5 to 1 kilos a week roughly. If we lose any more than that, okay, maybe I'm eating too little. I'm not losing anything. Okay, maybe I'm eating too much. I need to cut down what I'm eating. So they're my most frequently asked questions when it comes to beginners and losing weight. Now, we're gonna speak to a beginner. Reason being is a lot of people tend to be looking at someone like me or some other particular trainers, and they'll be like, what do you know about losing weight? You know, you've never been in a situation that I have. How can you relate? I agree, I can't really relate. Most of my life I've been very athletic, very fit. I've never had to really worry about my weight. Yeah, I've fluctuated in and out. I've put on weight, I've lost weight, all that kind of stuff. But I've never been in a position where I've been stuck in a rut for years and years on end with being either overweight or just unhealthy and unfit. Somebody who has been in that position is none other than my lovely girlfriend. This is the one and only Jessica Chidi. We're going to be specifically talking about weight loss and your journey so far with weight loss. So tell us how long you've been actively losing weight for.
Yeah, over nearly 2 years actually.
Year and 9 months, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
So we'll say almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
How heavy were you when you started your weight loss journey?
So I was 101 kilos, which is heavy for me. Like I always average before then. I averaged staying at 85 to 90 kilos, which I still was really big. But that was, 95 kilos was like the biggest I've ever been. And then, yeah, like one day all of a sudden I'm 101 kilos, and that makes all the difference sometimes. I saw that and I just go, I was a bit shocked actually. But yeah, that is the heaviest I've ever been. And that's what I started to lose weight.
Now, what is your current weight? What do we sit at the moment?
So I'm 71, exactly.
Geez, so
71 kilos.
so that's just dead on 30 kilos lost.
Yeah.
Now, so 30 kilos over 2 years, it's quite a significant amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for most people, they expect to lose the weight within 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Now, tell us about, I guess, for yourself, what was your biggest challenges losing 30 kilos, and I guess why has it taken you so long?
Biggest challenges personally, and I think this varies between people, was my eating. I like to eat. I'm a big eater. And so I overeat, and I think that was such a big challenge for me, was to not eat. My fitness, I almost need to eat to maintain that, and it's hard because I have to still lose weight. So technically speaking, I still have to be at a deficit in my calories, and it's very hard for me to maintain when I'm eating like 1,500 calories a day compared to when I used to be eating 2,000 calories a day. And that's, it's difficult for me to maintain, and that's just my problem. I was like, I've just plateaued. I did not move in weight whatsoever. And that's purely because I was just eating the exact amount of calories that I was burning on that day. So I kind of wasn't just moving anywhere. So yeah, I, like my fitness, like the amount of energy that I would like burn compared to the amount of energy I put in, just was dead on, and I would never ever I did not lose weight for 9 months, and it was very difficult. It was like a big struggle for me mentally to try and just track my calories and try to be more persistent with trying to be at a deficit. And that's the reason why it's taking me so long to get to the point like that I'm at now, and I still have further to go. I still have like 10 to 15 kilos more to go.
As someone who maybe is looking at starting or has that urge to start losing weight but just can't get their foot through the door, just can't make that first move, what would you say to someone like that to help them start their weight loss journey?
I think I really would encourage someone finding a friend and finding someone. I just don't think that anyone should do it alone. I think that unless you are one of those small percentage of people who has that mindset to be able to push through and continuously go through those ups and downs that you have when you are doing, like, you know, starting off your fitness journey, then, you know, that's why I always think groups are always a really good thing. But yeah, I think that, like, I would encourage people to find a friend, find a group, find a community. You know, it's why I like CrossFit so much. It's a community that keep you accountable. I couldn't have done it without my boyfriend, Tyler. I really couldn't have, because the amount of times I wanted to literally give up. I cried to him. I've cried to him many times. I told him this was too hard. I felt like I was not even losing weight at one stage. And, you know, there were stages, obviously, that I didn't. And he just told me to continue and to be consistent and keep going. And that consistency does pay off in the end. And you know, you just have to be consistent. And if you haven't already started, then the chances of you being consistent like that, you know, is low without that accountability with you.
So last question, before we quickly summarize everything we've spoke about. For you, since you've started your weight loss journey till now, what is something that you didn't think you would be able to do, but you have now achieved?
Physically, as like a more of a inside joke kind of thing, I'm a fucking terrible runner. And legitimately, like, I have always wanted to be able to run properly, you know, just breathe, everything. I think being able to, like, run long distance, that's just been like a really big goal of mine, and I was able to do that. I also love Olympic weightlifting. That's also really fun. I do that a lot, and it's one of my favorite things personally. But yeah, I think that I would never, like, in my wildest dream, thought I could be able to run, like, you know, long distance, or be able to lift heavy weights. I would say my ability to change my mindset. I think, you know, I was such a negative person when I was so much bigger. I, you know, always ate. I would eat when I was bored, things like that, you know. And I think that, you know, your mindset changes as you go. You become more positive, you love yourself more and more every day. And I think that that's something I never thought I'd be able to change. I never thought I could look in the mirror and be like, wow, like, I'm beautiful the way I am. I never thought that I could enjoy my body for what it did for me. And I think like there's a newfound appreciation for my body now that I've lost that weight. Not because I've lost that weight, but because I see the beauty in myself. Like I push through workouts, I've pushed through lifting heavy weights, I've pushed through all those physical things, and why can't mentally I can do that, and I can do that on the outside. So I think that that's something that really, amazed me in the changes of like that whole, from going from 101 kilos to 71 at the moment.
Lastly, just for the viewers at home, quickly summarizing, what would be the top 3 tips that you would give someone who's looking at losing weight?
So first tip I would say easily track your calories. Macros don't really matter too much. I'd probably say track calories. But do some research on it. Don't go in without knowing what you're doing. My second tip obviously should be consistency. Like Tyler said, as one of his life mottos, giving 50% effort is better than giving 0%. Even if you go and literally walk on a treadmill, does not matter. You still put in that effort to go that one day. And even if you do that for a month, then you'll soon see progress, and you'll see that, that little bit of consistency to the gym is going to help. And then you'll start reaching out and branching out and doing other things. So I find that if you're just consistent, you're going to get somewhere no matter what. And then my third tip would be, it's a tie between having your accountability, your friend group, your community, things like that, to also just staying positive. I guess they come hand in hand at the same time, because when you have someone to keep you accountable, they're going to keep you positive. They're going to make sure that you're always positive about what's going on. And, if you don't lose as much weight as you wanted to, still take that as the fact that you lost weight in the first place. You got to be happy with your small wins.
Anyway, that was a bit more of the serious side of this video. The reason why I got my shirt off now, because it's literally like 40 degrees outside.
Australia!
You've got aircon on and it's still I'm just sweating. The whole reason why I filmed that part with Jessica is just so it comes from someone who has gone through that experience. Yes, I can tell you exactly how to lose weight. At the end of the day, when it comes from someone who's actually done it themselves, it's a lot more genuine. And that's what you're looking for. I guess if you clicked on this video, you're looking at trying to start off losing weight, trying to kickstart it into that journey that you want to change your life with. And it's just better to come from someone who's gone through that. And just so when you do see something that says, hey, lose 12 kilos in 6 weeks, you can be like, well, that doesn't sound right. It took that Jessica chick 2 years to lose 30 kilos. So, and we want to make sure, this is a life-changing experience. It's not just 12 weeks, quick fat loss, up to your weight again, because, it wasn't sustainable. So we're looking at sustainable health, being healthier for longer, and also changing your life for good.
Nobody asked you between.
Sipping codeine in the nosebleeds, cause nobody around know me, I'm so low-key. She say that she miss the old me, cause she lonely, but it ain't my fault.